What's popping, guys? I'm not sure how much content the GoPro got tonight. It was pretty wet tonight. I am impressed with the 850. So here in Ontario tonight, it's like 5 degrees. Actually, it's rude of me. First of all, there's the sled. That's why you clicked in the video, not me. There's the 850. There's the truck. There's the Jeep. Yeah, okay, we got it over with. Okay, so the 850, I hadn't really ran in like warm temperatures. And like I said, in Ontario, like Stratford, where I'm from, it was like +1 tonight. So the sled really, I found a lot of the weight dug into the front ground. Like the front skis really dive into the ground to stop quick when I need to. And tonight I really felt that with the wet snow. So it was snowing all day here, and it was only like 0 to 3 degrees when it was snowing. So it was a super weird day. And I was like, it's weird. I want to go to the trail. I want to go on the trails tonight. Obviously I did. But it was weird because we got lots of snow, but it was so warm that it was like kind of counterintuitive. The trails had actually a good amount of snow on them, but it was very wet. And the sled I felt tonight when I was going fast through a few fields, once I hit like 120 and I hammered the gas to go a little faster, it wasn't really there. Like there was just, it was so heavy. I could feel the weight of the snow. And I was also really impressed with my ice scratchers that I ran tonight. As you can kind of tell by looking at the track here, this is all real slushy, warm snow, which I'm going to get out of here actually, if I can, maybe by hand. It's all real warm snow. Like none of it's actually frozen on. And tonight I was really happy to use these ice scratches that I had the dealership put on when I first bought the sled. They worked great tonight. Now, if you can imagine, even though it was wet snow, sometimes it will just travel through it. And since it's wet, it's like kind of clumped together and doesn't really do the best job. However, I was happy that I had them tonight because the sled didn't overheat, which is important because no one wants that. And this cluster on this sled is very basic. I guess the guy who snow checked it probably a couple years ago and bought this thing didn't ball out on the cluster. I have had previous sleds that have had temperature gauges and stuff, like belt temps and everything else while running. For some reason, this backcountry doesn't. I can't wrap my mind around when this sled doesn't have those types of gauges. Again, the guy must have just cheaped out on the cluster, but you know what? When I'm riding, it saves me from getting in my own head and like wondering how hot the sled's running. If it's running too hot, it will probably bark or beep at me and let me know. Otherwise, I don't really look at it. I just, try and keep my sled cool in the ways I can. And again, it ran well in these warm temps, but I was a little disappointed in the speed of it tonight, I guess. I don't know. It didn't seem like it had all the oomph or all the power behind it when it was warmer tonight. Again, the trails were hard packed and wet, so that's probably the number one contributor. But still, it kind of felt really heavy at the top end speeds. Again, the track probably had a lot of snow built up inside of it and stuff like that. So maybe I'm not cutting enough slack. But it ran well. It did run well. It didn't overheat or anything like that. Nor should it have. There's a few other sleds There's a few other sleds in the trail. I'm not sure if the GoPro picked it up or not. But I'm happy with the sled. Here in Ontario, this is the 5th or 4th weekend in a row I went sledding. And for us, that's pretty good, considering most of those weekends have been around my home area and not having to go too far north. I also did get this sled lift from Royal Distributing. I couldn't find these lifts barely anywhere in at least Canada. There's some in America. I couldn't think of the names of them off the top of my head. But yeah, the sled's been running great. The carbide's on it. I hate these single carbides that the sled has. They're getting pretty chewed down, as you can see. But I'm not too concerned because I'll be putting new ones. Oh, that's a little bent there. You can see how it's bent there and chewed up a little bit. But I'm not too concerned because I'll put new ones in at the end of the year. This warm shop, which is nice, melts the sled. I keep it here, not at my house, because my garage in my home is not heated. This is, so this stuff melts and gets it cleaned up. At the end of the season, I will have to do some spray 9 on the side and clean some of that up. I'm not bothering to do it now, but also I had a heated visor with a new helmet I got for Christmas. Haven't been able to use it because I don't have the wiring hooked up yet, so that kind of blows. One thing I will mention about this sled as well is that it does buzz through oil pretty good, like a healthy amount of oil. Always, after every trip it does. But you know what? I'd rather have it that way. If I can get this snap back in there. Actually, I'll show you guys too. It was real cold up north earlier this season, and this broke off. So I actually crazy glued it back on there, and it's held up good. Had to put it on the right angle. What I was saying is that it chews through a good amount of oil. It loves to drink oil. I think part of the reason why it loves to drink so much oil is because I'm always heaving on the gas. I'm not riding like efficiently, but who would want to ride efficiently. I'm not sure. But, excuse me, it really loves to drink oil, which I'm okay with because I'd rather it drink oil than sip oil and run a little lean. At least this way, when I check the oil levels and I know that it's gone down a bunch, that the sled is consuming enough oil, and if anything running rich, which I'm okay with. These things don't ever have issues with fouling plugs. These new Skidoos are pretty rock solid. That way, you never even really have to touch the plugs. Again, if you have an older sled, excuse me, especially like an older triple or something, like a 90s sled, early 2000s, even my 2013 Assault loved to buzz through spark plugs. But these new Skidoos, man, they're rock solid. My 2015 Skidoo Backcountry X, never had to touch the plugs on that at all. And that was 2015. By 2018, same thing. They make them so good these days. You have a lot of peace of mind when riding. One thing I will mention is that this sled, I haven't greased it since the start of the year. I'll probably do it at the end of the year, but it is making a few uncomfortable noises and sounds when I'm riding. It's kind of weird. Like, I don't know. I haven't really completely wrapped my head around it, but when I've been riding it, I've heard like a weird, it almost sounds like it's from a rotating piece on the sled. I don't know if it's because it was hot tonight or what, because it was definitely running hot. But the sled hasn't been greased in probably 1,000 kilometers, so I should probably do that soon. That might be a contributing factor as to some noises. But other than that, I've been really happy with the sled. It handles absolutely everything that I've thrown at it, and it's very playful. The throttle is right there. Sometimes I'll be riding this thing, and I'll be doing a good amount, like a good speed. I'll be scooting along. I'll hammer the gas, and it actually happened to me once this year. I hammer the gas. The skis come right up, doing like 80 or 90 kilometers an hour, like pretty quick, and I could turn the skis while in the air both ways, like just riding on just the track down the trail, hammer the gas, and the skis, I can lift them up and turn them both full ways because they're not even touching the ground. This thing is just, whoever made this 850 motor, I want to find them and give them a kiss because they did a damn good job on it, and I've had nothing but good things to say about the sled. Honestly, it's taken everything I've thrown at it. It sat in my garage for the first few months of the year because it was kind of late to get snow here in Ontario. It was in my garage for like 3 months since I bought it, and the first trip I had, took it up like 8 hours north. Well, I had a vlog of it, and just pounded on the miles, and it's taken everything I've thrown at it. I've had no complaints with the sled at all. So just trying to ride it as much as I can this year, and maybe get another trip in or two this year before the year's over. All right, so we're getting some extra content. We're gonna get some extra content for the vlog because I took this GoPro the other night and I didn't get much at the nighttime. New SD card, new day. The temperatures are a little colder now, so we'll kind of do a two-part ride session in one. It is now the following Sunday. That was Friday night, so now we're 2 days later. It's a little colder. It's like -8, -9, so hopefully the trails are frozen up a little bit better, and let's see if we can get some content. All right, everyone, so we're in the small town of Milverton with my grandpa. He's in the area, thought I'd stop by. He's got a Yamaha RS Vector. Gonna log some miles on with him. Always gotta take on these opportunities to, you know, see your grandparents every chance you get, especially when you share a bond or a hobby together like snowmobiling. So we're gonna get suited up and put on some miles together today.